Greetings, fellow Gorehounds. Before we begin this review, I want to first remind all of you that SAG-AFTRA and the WGA, the Actors Guild and the Writers Guild, are still currently on strike. So I'm going to include in the description of this video a link to both of their websites so that you can further educate yourself on why exactly these two guilds are striking, as well as a link to the Entertainment Fund if you want to help them more directly. And as you probably already know, movies cannot get made without writers and actors, as much as the rich fucks in charge want to convince all of you that they can be replaced with AI. They can't, and they shouldn't be replaced with AI. So fuck the corporates, support the unions, and let's get on with this review. Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And Count Jackula's back. Poor guy has had a stomach problems the last few days, and it's made it really hard to record vlogs.
Yeah, I was kind of out of it for a bit.
Absolutely. So, everybody, be sure in the comment section to welcome Jack back. Also, I've been switching up the title cards with this vlog and with the previous vlog. Let me know below if you watch this video for the first time because of the new title card. I'm really curious. Anyway, with all that shit out of the way, let's talk about Run Rabbit Run, an Australian horror thriller from director Daina Reid, or Daina Reid. I might be mispronouncing that. As far as I can tell, this is her first feature, but she's been working in television for like a decade, doing a shit ton of stuff for like The Handmaid's Tale and various other shows.
I thought this was about a delightful children's book. About a rabbit that runs.
A run, rabbit, run. Or Rob Zombie's House Without the Corpses. Run, rabbit, run.
Oh my God, now I need children's book. Have it be story of a rabbit that ends up at House of Thousand Corpses, but all looks like Richard Scarry or some shit.
That would be amazing. I would buy that.
Yeah.
I would buy that. I would read it. I'd read it to my children. I would pass it on for generations. So Run Rabbit Run is a movie that is ostensibly about a mother and a daughter dealing with the grief of a dead grandfather, but unravels to be more than that as the story goes on.
Yeah,
this isn't just the Babadook Redux. This is a completely different movie.
No. In the beginning, it looks like it's going to be like
Babadook-esque.
Yeah, like it's going to be a Babadook clone, but it's not.
Like, you start to find out that, okay, so the grandfather's dead, but the grandmother is in a mental hospital or an old folks home. You're not sure which.
Yeah.
It's one of the two. It's either a mental hospital or an old folks home. At some point, the mom had a sister who went missing, most likely ran away from home. The daughter starts randomly wearing a bunny mask that she made by hand and pretending or being possessed by the ghost of, you're not quite sure for most of the movie, missing sister. The missing sister.
Plus, there's a lot of Alice in Wonderland imagery.
At one point, the daughter finds a white rabbit that seems to have come to her.
Yeah.
In order to, help her through this trial and tribulation of her grandfather's death.
There is a particular door reminiscent of the door to Wonderland.
100%. There's some Wonderland imagery, which kind of clues you in at the beginning that something's not going to be quite right as the movie goes on.
Yeah.
And the fact that everyone's acting weird just adds to that feeling.
Yeah, because this is a movie where you're watching, but you can only see what the characters are talking about at the time.
Yeah, you don't.
So half the shit is like you have no context for.
You feel like a very passive observer in this movie.
Yeah.
You're only seeing what the characters are allowing you to see.
Yeah.
Especially the main character. The main character has a ton of secrets that unravel as the story goes on.
Yeah.
That you're not privy to at the beginning. So you're left looking at most of her actions at the beginning of the movie going, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Why would anyone do that?
Why would a person say that at this moment?
And on top of all this, there is at least one potentially supernatural element going on in the movie, but you're not quite sure if it's real or not, or if it's just like a manifestation of the grief that's going on.
Yeah.
And that's that this little girl keeps like appearing in the background of shots.
Yeah.
Now, you can assume that the little girl is probably what the sister who went missing looks like.
Yeah.
But you're not sure. You're not sure if that's what it is, at least until later on.
Way later in the movie.
Then you find out more about what's going on, but that's spoiler territory about why is everyone acting weird? What's going on with this weird ghost-looking girl? Why is the mom estranged from her
Her mom. Yeah.
All those questions are answered. Now, I will say this.
The movie eventually
leads to an ambiguous ending that has two possible interpretations, both of which do not change the movie one iota.
Yeah, that was one of the things I thought was really good about the movie. Regardless of how you feel about what happens at the end, you are in the correct fucking headspace. And the story you have makes complete sense.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about those two possible interpretations when we get to the spoiler section, because they're kind of interesting in how one's more metaphorical and one's more literal.
Yeah, but as you said, the metaphorical interpretation does not contradict the literal interpretation.
Not at all. They both mean the same thing.
Yeah. The only thing that is left to argue is about what reality is.
Exactly. Because reality comes into question as this movie goes on for a multitude of reasons.
Well, yeah.
So it really is a trip into Wonderland, but a really dark and disturbing trip into Wonderland. You learn some pretty fucked up shit as this movie goes on. It's not like a Serbian film or anything.
Oh, no.
It's not an endurance test movie.
It's not, no.
This is a great movie. This is one of those movies that is going to end up on a lot of top 10 horror movies of the year list, especially for people who like their horror movies a little bit more pretentious.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely an elevated
horror movie, but I think it's a well-deserved one. I think that this movie does come together really well. I like that it has the ambiguous ending. I like that despite the ambiguous ending, all interpretations completely tell the same story.
Yes.
And I like that this movie had me guessing from the start what the fuck was going on. Like, I could never predict the next move the way I can with some movies.
Yeah. And it felt like every time you fucking had a handle on it, that's when they switched it up. It's weird for a movie to do that like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I got it. Oh, whoa, okay. And then you settle in. Okay, I got it. Whoa, wait a minute.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. 100%. And it makes me want to rewatch the whole movie again, just to see all the little details and stuff.
Yeah, I could tell, you can tell immediately it's that type of movie where you're like, literally everything in the frame is purposeful.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, It's not a run and gun. It's not a good enough. It is, no, that thing is there for a very fucking particular reason.
There's different types of filmmaking. There's a filming for coverage, where you just get all this basic shots of a scene and you edit it together in post, not quite sure how it's going to go together. But then there's like what I refer to as very deliberate filmmaking.
Yeah.
This isn't just a shot in a series of coverage you got. This is the shot you shot and that's it. Because you knew this is what the way it was going to be told in this order.
Yeah, this is like more Hitchcock.
And this movie feels like that from start to finish.
It does.
So yeah, Run Rabbit Run, I think, is a really good horror thriller, whatever you want to call it. Either way, I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a horror movie.
It's got great acting. Yeah, well, I mean, especially when you get to the end. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's got great performances. It's got great writing. Not every movie feels like a work of art. This one truly does. Like, it feels like the writer and the director really knew what they were honing in on when they made this. It is currently being distributed here in the United States through Netflix, so you can go watch it on Netflix. I believe it is being distributed by other companies in other ways in other countries. That being said, since I mentioned Netflix, I do want to bring up that the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild are currently on strike, and that Netflix, pay your fucking writers, pay your fucking actors.
Oh, Jesus
you
Christ,
greedy bastards. And so with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let us finally move on to the spoilers. Why is the mom estranged from her mom? Well, she's estranged from her mom because her mom always blamed her for the missing sister. What's with the weird ghost girl that's appearing everywhere? Well, that's the sister.
Yeah.
That is the sister. You see it in photos. It's the same girl. We discover that she actually killed her sister, by the way.
Yeah.
She fucking just straight up killed her sister.
But then, what about the daughter?
Is she pretending to be the sister now just to fuck with the mom? Is she possessed by the sister? What's going on here? Now, here's the thing. By the end of the movie, there's 2 possible interpretations, because one of the things you find out throughout this movie is that the grandmother has dementia. So, by the end of this movie, one of 2 things happened. Either the guilt and the trauma that the mother lives with every day caused her to finally snap, and the catalyst was the death of her dad. And so she has been hallucinating her daughter, pretending to be her sister, as well as hallucinating the sister everywhere she looks.
Yeah.
Or the other interpretation, her sister is from the grave haunting her.
Yeah.
And is possessing her daughter to remind her of her guilt and her shame, to drive her insane.
Yeah. No matter what interpretation you come to about what has gone on, that little girl is fucking dead.
Well, yeah, she's dead, or she's as good as dead. It doesn't matter, because throughout the movie, there's been these weird behaviors where the daughter will pretend to be or claim she's the sister.
Yeah.
And then act like that never happened. And by the end of the movie, you're not sure if that's because the mom was just hallucinating it or if she just wasn't aware.
That she was possessed.
Either way, it was resulting in the mom abusing the daughter. And it was all abuse that we weren't really seeing as the movie was going on, but is kind of revealed as the movie's going on. One of the ones that we just straight up see, she tries to like cut this piece of her hair and then like literally stabs her with the scissors.
Yeah.
While trying to do it because she's fucking going nuts. And throughout the movie, we've had these moments where the daughter will just randomly be found somewhere hyperventilating, almost like a rabbit. And we weren't sure if that's just a weird behavior or if something like set off some sort of trauma for her. And it turns out it's because her mom's been abusing her the entire time.
Yeah.
Either because of a possession or because her mom's dementia is really fucking gone
or
nuts.
Her mom's nuts.
Either way, not good for the daughter. And the movie ultimately culminates in the mom waking up one morning and going out to the window, and there is her sister as she remembers her when she killed her, and her daughter walking towards the cliff that she pushed her sister off of.
Yep.
The daughter's gone. Either dead because she's killed her at this point, or she's as good as dead because she just mentally destroyed her. It doesn't matter, same result. There's also a weird thing where I'm pretty sure like the body of her like ex-husband's laying there, but you're not sure if he's dead or asleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I noticed that too, where I'm like, I think that's too big for the little girl.
Yeah, it looks like a guy, and plus it was in boxers, so I don't think any of them were wearing that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so that's probably the dad. Like, is he dead or is he alive? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's an ambiguous ending, but regardless of which interpretation you go with, or a mixture of interpretations, the bottom line is the meaning's the same. She killed her sister, and the guilt and the trauma of having done that causes her to abuse and possibly murder her daughter.
Yeah.
If nothing else, murder her daughter mentally.
Yeah, but we're pretty sure that little girl's dead one way or the other.
Walking off towards the cliff, like, it has a symbolic meaning. That's the cliff that her sister was killed on, you know?
Yeah. It feels a lot like Turn of the Screw if you got some fucking answers.
Yeah. Turn of the Screw, but like by way of the telltale heart.
Yeah.
She's being haunted by her guilt of what she did. No one else knows she did it.
Yeah.
The mom possibly suspected.
Yeah, but nobody knows.
No one knows for sure. And we, the audience, don't even know until the end, and we see the fucking horrific fucking backstory where we find out that she's like locked her sister in a closet all night, and then when she lets her out and the sister attacks her, she hits her with the fucking rabbit trap.
Yeah.
Chases her down, and then when her sister threatens to scream, pushes her off a cliff.
Yep. Boop.
And you see this, and you've gone through this entire movie, not sure how you should feel about her, not sure how you should feel about her daughter, and in that moment, you immediately understand what the story is.
Yep. Here's one of the other weird things that fucking happens.
Yeah.
There's a fight between two children.
The scenario is the parents are all in one room having a conversation, and then they hear the scream of her daughter. They come running in. Daughter says that the other boy hit her.
Yeah.
So mom has the initial over freak out. It's understandable to tell the kid, like, don't hit, but she goes really in on it.
Yeah, she goes in hard to the point where you're like, whoa!
It's like fucking like mama lion mode. She's like fucking baring her teeth, but she's also like terrified more so than she should be for the scenario. You understand this scene a lot better, at least this initial reaction a lot better when you realize that, oh, you hit your sister and you killed your sister. So this scene was traumatic for you, and she's literally having a PTSD flashback when this happens, and so that's why she freaks out.
The PTSD struggles of a character you do not sympathize with.
You go back and forth throughout the movie, like, oh, should I sympathize with her? Should I not? And she does a lot of weird things to make it really shaky, right?
Yeah.
When the daughter finds this white rabbit, her initial reaction is, well, that probably broke out of someone's yard, so we should probably, get some flyers up and, find out whose thing it is. But then later, when she's all alone outside smoking, she tries to just throw it over a fucking fence.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Just throw it over the fence, which would probably injure the fucking rabbit. It's a tall fence.
Yeah,
she has to reach up over her head to do it.
Yeah, she can't quite do it.
But of course, that mirror is pushing her own sister over a great
exactly.
height.
Exactly. It's like a foreshadowing thing,
yeah.
right? There's a point in which the rabbit scratches her, and then she kind of has this festering, untreated wound for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Basically a metaphor.
Yeah, the metaphor's clear.
The metaphor's super clear. Oh God, like with the whole I thought we agreed that she was gonna be an only daughter, and I'm just like, that is a weird fucking ask for your ex-husband.
No kidding.
I'm sorry, he's your ex-husband now. Yes, that means that your daughter is going to have a sibling if he has other kids. But once he's your ex-husband, you no longer have any say in what kids he has.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the deal.
And that was one of the first signs, that scene where you're just like, okay, something's wrong with her. I don't know what yet. This movie ends with her, for lack of a better way of putting it, looking through the looking glass.
Yeah, she's crossing over to the other side.
But it's like she's trapped.
Well, yeah,
she's behind the glass.
Yeah, because you're like, is shit that it's ooh.
And her daughter is free with the sister, but they're free in death. The other reveal that I really like, because throughout the movie, the little girl is seemingly doing the little girl in a horror movie thing where she has drawn all these creepy fucking images of her and this bunny. And then you find out by the end of the movie that she never drew any of those things. The mom herself did.
Yep.
The mom would go into these fugue states and just start drawing.
Yep. Especially drawing the black door.
The black door, which is the door that represents the closet that she kept locking her sister in.
Yep. You can find me on TikTok at RealCountJackula. You can also find me on Twitter at CountingJack. And you can find me on YouTube on my own channel. Just put in Count Jackula Show in the little search bar that YouTube gives you. And algorithm permitting, you will find my channel where I stream multiple times during the week where we talk about all kinds of groovy things. It's a good time for all. You should all hang out. I'll see you there. And what about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram and Facebook, and now TikTok. I now have a TikTok in which I fill it with a ton of terrible puns. So if you like the kind of puns I do in my Blood Splattered Cinema episodes, go check out my TikTok and you can see some isolated, individual, juicy ass puns. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you would like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And trust us when we say we could use those dollars, given current changes in our life right now.
Yes.
So check out those Patreons and donate when you can.
There are a lot of movies you are not going to be seeing and not spending money on. So why not give that money to us?
Hell yeah! Hell yeah, we can use it. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, if you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag Don't Follow the White Rabbit. Work that into your comment below. That way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows you watched this video all the way through. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, peace out, and I'll catch y'all next time.
Yep.